Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button, also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, then make sure you hit that bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, the donations, and the Patreon patrons. So I just watched the remainder of the Mayweather versus McGregor press tour stop number 2. It was in Canada. I believe I said Ontario in the last video. It was in Toronto. Shout out to Drizzy Drake. Yeah, that's where he's from. And I think it was initially supposed to happen in Ontario, which is why I had it in my head. And I think based on the demand, the overwhelming demand, I believe they moved the Canada stop to a bigger venue. Boy, oh boy. Now, some of you hard-headed, non-English understanding motherfuckers got on the last video and you're like, oh man, you're full of shit, Ego. When I specifically told you in that video, I had watched the opening 5 minutes of the walkout and I made a quick video and I was going to watch the remainder. I did watch it and I'm a believer in the truth. Conor got this one. Conor owned this one. And I think part of it is the UFC. I'm not taking away from Conor what he did, and I'm going to get to what he said specifically that I liked. But the UFC, they have a good model with their fights, and they actually don't neglect Canada. So they built a following and a viewership there. That's something that boxing doesn't really do well unless the fighter is from Canada or migrated to Canada, like Jean Pascal or Adonis Stevenson or Lucien Bute or something like that. So the crowd definitely was pro Conor McGregor here. And again, I think that's because UFC is big over there because they actually have events and press tour stops and things like that over there. Boxing really doesn't unless one of the fighters is from or lives in Canada. But Conor got this one. I thought he came with the heat. Maybe with the mishap of the microphones and things like that in the first LA press tour stop, he came back with a vengeance, and he came back swagged out. He had a lot of one-liners. I'm gonna try to remember all of them, but he won the round 2 of the verbal warfare. I call it like I see, man. You can't take this away from Conor. This was a good verbal sparring and a lashing. It was a tongue lashing. He had several quick one-liners and gags. He was like saying stuff like, "Oh, I'm gonna be on this mic as long as I want." What he was doing was emceeing the crowd, which is what I like. And as a student of the game of hip hop, people don't understand what an MC is. People just think of an MC as a rapper, but an MC is the master of ceremonies. And you know what I mean? A lot of times back in the day, like in New York, the MCs some of them couldn't even really rap, but they had a great speaking voice, a great on the mic voice. You know what I mean? Maybe they were a DJ and stuff. And really what it is you get the crowd participation. You see the crowd reacting, so you spin the joint again, different stuff like that. And you're basically the life of the party. You're the heartbeat of the party. You know what I mean? If the shit's whack, it's because of you. You know what I mean? But if everybody's moving and grooving, it's because of the MC is mastering the crowd and getting people involved and, you know what I mean, playing the right hits or just entertaining. That's what Conor did. To me, it was actually, aside from that, I'm a huge movie buff. Aside from the hip hop stuff, I'm a huge movie buff, and I really love stand-up comedy, like some of the greats, Richard Pryor. Next time, motherfucker, go, I'm gonna say suck my dick. Right? But Eddie Murphy, Delirious and Raw. And I really feel like Conor McGregor had that kind of swag. And there's certain things you can't really teach, or you have to practice for those moments, like public speaking and just like I said, emceeing and stuff like that. And he kind of reminded me of a comedian if you look at it, because like I said, I'm a huge stand-up comedian fan, and the way he was even moving with the mic and walking and pacing back and forth and say the joke, and then not concentrating his energy only up the middle. He was panning to the left, letting them get some love, then walking to the right. I mean, some of you guys don't pay attention to little stuff like that, but I do. Like another person, it kind of reminded me of like Chris Rock. If you look at Chris Rock's Bigger and Blacker and his top top HBO specials and stuff. That's how he would like pace around. Okay. Too much food in America, man. We got so much food, we allergic to food. Allergic to food. You think the people of Rwanda got a fucking lactose intolerance? But yeah, that's what Conor McGregor was doing. I was digging it. And he was throwing darts. Where do I begin? This was overall a better presser to me than the LA stop. LA was cool, but it seemed like maybe they had some technical difficulties. I thought Brian Custer did a better job of kind of being the middleman to bring people up. Drizzy Drake was there, stuff like that. Funny part for me, Conor McGregor walked up to Steven Espinoza, who's an exec at Showtime. You always see him at all these big Showtime fights. And he says, "You're a bitch." He said, "You little weasel." He called him a weasel and a bitch. And he said, "Fuck Showtime. My mic's working today." He said, Floyd is an old, weak bitch. And I quote, he says, "Floyd got 50 stripper bitches on his payroll. What the fuck? What is he doing with this strip club? At least Rob Kardashian only had one. This bitch has 50 strippers on the payroll." Crazy. These lines, Conor was coming with it. He was coming with the heat. The other one where this was kind of his closing. He said something in between like, "Take the mic from me, otherwise I'm gonna go all night. I run this," and shout out to the fans. He was showing the love. They were showing mad love back. And then Conor says, "Dress your age. You look like a breakdancer twerp. You're 40-year-old." He said, "You're 40 years old carrying a school bag. You can't even fucking read. Why you got that school bag?" And everybody went ham and went crazy. And that was pretty much the major punchlines that stood out. So, like I said, I was treating this press tour, because this is for entertainment purposes. I was treating it like a rap battle. Conor got this one easy. Mayweather, I don't really even like. He said like he had the Irish flag, but they were booing him. You know what I mean? He says like, "You guys gonna listen to this weak bitch?" It looked like maybe Conor even got under his skin. He's like, "You gonna listen to this quitter bitch," and stuff like that. But this is the Conor that I thought would show up in the LA, and maybe he's offended or mad that he didn't, and he came with heaters. But this is the UFC Conor, trash talking. He was in his prime tonight. But those are the memorable spots. Conor easily got this one. This is my full breakdown. He just had the better lines, more crowd participation. And like I said, I think some of that's because UFC doesn't neglect Canada. You know what I mean? So people know Conor McGregor brand, you know what I mean? More so than boxers. You put, like, let's say Danny Garcia, if you take him over to Canada to do a press tour with Keith Thurman, it's probably not going to be as jumping. But the UFC has invested their time. Dana White even is kind of telling you in this press conference what I'm saying. He says, "I told them in the contract we had to do Canada, and we had to make a Canadian stop because you guys always turn up and it's lit. And I'm so glad we did, because you guys never let us down, so to speak." And it's true, because Canada, and Conor did his thing. So to me, it's pretty much 1-1. And like I said, props to both of them. I think Conor easily won the Toronto stop, but I feel like it's both of them, that back and forth, that ebb and flow, that tug of war. These dudes are schooling the other fighters to the game and how you can make some money. I guarantee you that this fight is going to do numbers. And I've already been on record saying that I think it'll definitely beat Canelo Golovkin. Commercial success, pay-per-view buys, viewership. Not saying what's better for boxing, all that bullshit y'all be talking about. I'm talking about financial success, live gate, the numbers that they generate, the millions of homes. I guarantee you that I feel is going to do better than that fight. And I told you I wouldn't be surprised if it trumps Mayweather versus Pacquiao, because Mayweather-Pacquiao had a shitty buildup. I told you guys that before, after. They pretty much relied on the fact that it had been talked about and desired for 5 years, and they just let that ride. They really did the bare minimum in terms of promoting. Like they had press conferences that were closed off to the public. So if you're a diehard Pacquiao or Mayweather fan, you couldn't even get in because it was only media only. And the media, they're never gonna, this is a job. You know what I'm saying? If you're media, this is your job, or a part-time job. So you're never going to be as drunk ass fans and fans with Irish flags and, you know what I mean, everybody in Canada. You're not going to be lit like that. I mean, some people in the media, maybe they do. They be acting like it with them dumbass questions they be asking. But I don't know. I'm just the way Mayweather versus Pacquiao, they pretty much relied on the fact that the fight was already sold. And Floyd didn't even trash talk. And we know Pacquiao, he don't really trash talk. I believe, Jeopardy. Like, he's not really going to trash talk. But now you got two trash talkers, and it's kind of some back and forth action and bitch calling. Who's a bitch? You a hoe? I'm telling you guys, this stuff, this matters in this day and age. This is the type of stuff that sells. So kudos to both of them. Again, I always give you guys honest assessments. I thought Conor rocked the show. He was moving strategic, and he was moving like a comedian in there, and he was like really kind of composed and everything like that. Dana White, I was looking at him in the background, just seeing his, and when Conor was hitting him with these one-liners, he was just like, see, I told y'all, Conor's he's the real deal. So this is my full breakdown. Like I said, the first one was, I did it real quick after watching the first, it wasn't even the first official face-off. The other face-off that they did, the official one, after all the podium speeches, I mean, it was just regular. Conor was talking shit. Mayweather was just staring there, and I don't know. I didn't really take much from it. But what was really important was Conor McGregor's his public speaking and the Canada backing him. That was big. Like, you could tell the crowd was motivated. Man, it's crazy that all these other places like UK and Canada, all these people, all these fans, it's like they show a different level of love to the fighters that they like. And you come to fucking America, and Americans don't even like show up or show love to American champions. It's crazy, but shout out to those other regions for holding it down for the fighters that they fuck with. But this was a good one, and like I said, I think the fight's gonna sell. The fight, all this extra stuff and intense face-offs, people are gonna see who lives up. Conor's, he does seem confident, I will admit. He's like, man, this guy's brittle. Look at the size of his head. His head's too small. He can't take one of these punches. You can try to catch it on the guard. So, I mean, all of this is making it compelling. People seeing Conor believe in himself. He was basically saying, too, like, everything I've ever done, the odds were stacked against me. Nobody believes that, hey, this person, he's too good of a wrestler, or he kicks too hard. You can't do it. And he always defies the odds. So, I mean, people are going to tune in for those reasons. And Conor, he's a likable. I told you guys, I like Conor, right? I like Floyd. I like Conor. And he has the type of charismatic personality. I told you guys this before, too. I can see him even transitioning to Hollywood. You know what I mean? Because he has like this Tom Hardy type of badass, I don't give a fuck, and all this type of attitude. And he makes you want to believe him. You know what I mean? He has that passion, and he knows how to MC the crowd. So kudos to Conor McGregor. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you thought. But all of this spells to me is what I've been telling you. This fight will sell for one reason or another. And it's kind of, I'm just being honest, and you guys know I put boxing above all sports. I don't have a problem with UFC, football, baseball, none of that. But I put boxing ahead of all of that. And it's crazy that there's nobody in boxing that are really, or UFC, boxing or UFC, that has the showmanship that these two have. Like, where they're just like killing it. Like, they're just making people believe, and you know what I mean? It's crazy. And it's crazy because some of these fighters have these type of personalities where they're cocky and stuff, but they don't do it. They don't turn up for the crowd. You got to really learn in this game. This is just my message to all the fighters. I'm not saying if that's not your, like Andre Ward, I'm not saying you have to go out there and be like, fuck all y'all, fuck Showtime, fuck HBO. I'm not saying you have to do all that if that's not who you are, but this is a business at the end of the day, and people pay attention to that. And for this reason, fights like this will probably outsell a more meaningful fight in the UFC. You know what I mean? Do you honestly think this fight will undersell Tony Ferguson versus Khabib Nurmagomedov? That's a good fight. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you could say that's all more meaningful because it's in-house UFC shit. But it's still not going to outsell this. You know what I mean? And it's because of these guys, on top of being good fighters in their own right, they're selling it. They're enticing people to buy. you're like, damn, Conor's talking a lot of shit. I gotta see if he believes in himself, then I can believe enough to get $100. And that's the other thing. I don't clown people's lifestyle. I don't know what you guys got going, if you got kids or what. But some of y'all act like $100 is really the end of the world for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've spent so much money on shit and it wasn't the fight that I wanted. You know what I mean? So that's just whatever. And I don't care. Like I said, I'm not profiting from this fight directly, like meaning I'm a part of the business dealings. So if you guys buy it or don't buy it, that's cool. But it's weird that a lot of people act like if you spend $100, you strap for the next 4 months or something. But hey, maybe people have school tuition or something. I don't know. But this was lit. This was a good one. This is my in-depth analysis. I might even live stream later if you guys want that. Drop it in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.